Alright folks, how you doing? It's Gary, and here is the maiden voyage of the DJI Mavic Air. I'm just finishing a firmware update, getting it ready to take off. Let's take a look. We've got about 76% complete here. We're rolling right along. You can see the Mavic Air controller. I've got the propeller guards on here. I'll tell you, I was very impressed with the setup of the Mavic Air. With the Spark earlier, I had some problems connecting the remote controller to the Spark itself, but they've definitely fixed those in the Mavic Air, and it was very seamless. I just turned one on, turned the other on, and they connected right together. If you'll notice here, they've got a USB straight into the controller, which I think is a nice upgrade as well. So, very good. Very good changes here. This machine feels really good, really well built. Super happy with it so far. Alright, we're almost done with the firmware update. So we're at 92%. Let's finish it off and then we'll get to flying. Alright, we have finished the firmware update and we are ready to fly. Now you can see here, getting all set. Got a pretty good view. And let's get it going. One thing I notice here on the controller is it's not wide across the screen like it is on the Spark. Oh, it's set in camera mode. Let's swap to video. There we go, look at that. Alright, let's video. This is just standard video mode here. I'm not going to change any settings. We'll go in auto right here. I like the display. I'm going to have to take some time to figure that out. Kind of excited to try the sport mode, see if we can get to 40 miles an hour. As you can see here, it's about sunset. We're going to do a little filming off my deck. Try to get some pictures here as the sun goes down of the bay. See how good the 4K camera looks with the background of San Francisco, Golden Gate Bridge. Hopefully it picks it up, a little bit of downtown Oakland as well. Alright, we've just completed the firmware update, rebooting the Mavic Air. Controller, waiting for them to connect. Boy, remote controller firmware. Hopefully this is fast. This is killing me. Trying to fly before sunset here. This should be quicker than the plane itself, I think. Progressing pretty quickly. There she goes. First flight into the bay. Okay, we're just over 1,000 feet out here. Everything looks good. One thing I noticed on these controller sticks is they're a little bit different than the Spark, so and my turning isn't quite as smooth. I'm sure I'll figure that out as we go. I'm not sure how this is going to show up, but give it a try. I'm going to turn it back to the home point, panorama view. Camera looks really good there. This looks really good. You can see they're doing a little road construction down here. I'm going to video that. Alright, here she comes. We're going to turn it around, do some sport mode. Right, there we go. I also want to see how quick we can get going. Controller battery low. Shouldn't be a problem. And the speed here, oh there we go, 18.6 miles an hour. And that's well short of the 40 it says. Guessing we're limited here maybe. Another thing I wanted to try was this 3-axis gimbal. See how stable it is as we turn. Much more stable, you can tell, than the Spark. At faster speeds when we're going left and right. This is great. 23 miles an hour. Wow, that was cool. It's awesome. Try the gimbal. Pan down. That's a problem. Low battery. Alright, we're headed home. That beep is very annoying. does it make that loud beep? That is terrible. Interesting because I'm launching it from higher so we get a negative on the height. Okay, take it out of sport mode. Bring it back for landing. Here we come. Alright, so in conclusion, there's a few things that I think we should talk about if you're thinking about moving from the Spark to the Mavic Air. First of all, here's a couple pros. Number one, the 3-axis gimbal. That's hard to beat. When you're flying the Spark, especially in sport mode, and you're turning from side to side, of course the 2-axis gimbal just can't hold up. But with the Mavic Air, the addition of the 3-axis gimbal makes a huge difference. You can pretty much fly it as fast as you want. I got it up to 42 miles an hour earlier, and it is incredible. So I think that's a nice upgrade. Of course, the 4K, don't need to say much about that. That's definitely a pro. For me, from going to the Spark to the Mavic Air, when you get the Fly More combo package, you get 3 batteries, whereas the Spark, I only had 2. And that makes a big difference. Plus the battery life, being able to fly it about 5-7 minutes longer, to me seems like a lot. Now I know if you're coming from the Mavic Pro, you probably don't think the battery's too great because it's not as good, but coming from the Spark, it does seem like a good upgrade. A couple cons that I found is the charger. So it only charges one of the batteries at a time, whereas on the Spark you get used to charging up to 3 batteries all at the same time. That was a nice feature, so it feels like a bit of a downgrade on that. Then what I also noticed was the remote controller doesn't seem to stay charged as long either. Seems to run out pretty quickly. Still decent enough, but just one thing I noticed. Another pro, speed. Going 45 miles an hour today was a trip. It was fantastic. So pretty fun being able to do that. Pictures look great, videos look great. All in all, I think for a few extra $100, I would buy the Mavic Air every time over the Spark. Still, if you're new to flying, you know, you don't want to spend that much, the Spark is great. I had a blast with it as well. So, can't go wrong with either drones. And just go out and get one. They're a bunch of fun. So now that I've given you some of my thoughts on the setup and operations of the Mavic Air, and also given you some of the pros and the cons that I see with it, let's get to the videos. These shots came straight from the Mavic Air in auto mode. Enjoy.